It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
An interesting email we got from a guy who says he's just a middle-aged single dude, but he doesn't want to do the online dating. He doesn't want to do anything through apps. He just had the question of where do singles go to meet other people nowadays? Some really interesting answers coming up here in a couple of seconds of the podcast. Let's go. Your son, as you're talking about how much money hundreds of grown men spent on you when you were still dating them in your 18 and 19-year-old range. Mm-hmm. What did you assume that these older men were spending on you?
I didn't assume. I just went with it, but I always assumed they would pay. They were the ones that asked me out. I just always think that that's how it goes. If you are the person that is being asked out, you are not going to pay. But I told him when we were driving around the city, I said, I had a boyfriend take me here. And it was so good. We should go. And I said, but it was very expensive. So it'll be kind of like a fun night for our family. He said, how expensive was the date? And I said, I think he spent about $250. It was the melting pot. Easily done there. Cocktails, appetizers. Then you have the whole setup that you're paying for.
The nice part about that is that if he would have just that's what you were probably spending per year, leaving your number in the back pages of the city pages. Looking for dates.
Make another horror reference about me. And we're going to be coming to blows.
That wasn't it.
You're such a gaslighter. Anyway.
He spent $250 on a first date with you?
Yes.
Jeez.
It was, we had known each other. We've been hanging out, coffee and stuff like that. But this was the first night that we went out together.
That's exceptional.
And he did it. And we had a great time. And that was that. And Liam's like, so how much should I spend on a first date? And I'm anticipating maybe 15, 16 years old, he's going to start doing that. I don't know. But if it's the first date, I said, I don't know, like $75 to $100.
Dang, really?
And Derek was like, how could you tell him that? Like, he cannot be spending that much money. Think of how many first dates he's going to go on. He can't set the bar right there. Like, you have to feel it out. He goes,
I agree with your
husband.
He goes,
you want me to spend that much money at one of the 4 places you can go in town? I'm like, yeah, I guess it would be kind of hard to do that. But that was just...
Well, let's just be honest. You're going to go out, you're going to have a burger and fries, and she's going to have a salad and a water. All right. What does that run you? Is that $30?
I think he'll spend about $35. I think safe to say that's what Derek said. He goes, dude, do not spend over $40. There's no way you two 16-year-olds are going to spend that much money.
Go somewhere you can split a pizza. That's what I would be into. Number one, if they order something weird, they want olives or something funky on that, man, break out.
Okay.
Leave 20 on the table and say, find your own way home. Now, what if first off, you can have an enjoyment of a like right away. We like the same kind of pizza. Cool. You got to share it. Hands might touch.
Right.
You can scoop one off the little pizza tin and put it on her plate for her. There's a lot of good ways to do that. And that can't cost you more than $30, right?
Sandy said $70 to $80. That's the acceptable. And I think that could go for adults too, if that's what you're talking about.
Okay, so think about just meals. You're going to go out. It's a $25 meal for each of you. You probably have a couple of drinks at $7 or $8 a pop. So you're probably,
that's why it's way cheaper for him at 15, 16. They're not getting cocktails.
75-ish. Right. I'd assume that. Hey, Steve, I appreciate you checking in, man. How much are we spending on first dates? What's a good number?
To be honest with you, it's a big moment. It's a first impression, right? Mm-hmm. I spend, minimum $200 for the first date, no matter what.
On every first date? How often are you going on first dates?
I probably like two or three times a month, I think.
Dang!
Cow, dude. Like, okay, you said you want to set the first impression, but isn't that first impression then that you're friggin' loaded if you're spending $200 on dinner?
And obviously it's not going well because you're going on many first dates. What's the deal?
Well, okay, some of them do go well enough, all right? It depends what you're looking for.
Look at that. Yeah, my man.
You're a pimp.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just, you got to come out swinging.
But $200, that's a lot.
That is a lot of money,
man.
As a female, I would not expect that.
But you'd be impressed, right?
I'd be impressed, but not necessary. Some women might be telling me to shut up right now, but...
that's what I want out of my partner, and so that's what I set the expectations high.
All right, fair enough, man. If it was something you were going to go through, wouldn't you just pull the trigger and be done with it?
Not while my kid is under the age of 18.
So you could find yourself living in a loveless marriage
Yes,
just for another 5 years?
I could. As agonizing as that would be for me, I would never let my child in on that part.
You don't think you could find a way to make it understandable for him that this isn't good for both of you?
I don't
and that
wanna.
you should live happy?
I don't want to. I get why people stay together until the kids are out of the house. I completely understand. You don't want to blow up your kid's life. I'm not in a marriage where there is anything volatile. There's nothing physical. There's no like verbal abuse. So I think that we could come to an agreement if we were both there to say, let's just live as harmoniously as we could. But when I was talking to my friend Annie, I said, and that's not her name, but I said, can I use your situation? Because I want to talk about this. She has 2 reasons why she's not leaving her husband. So the first one is that she's not financially stable. She has only ever worked part-time for like the last decade and a half. That's as long as I've known her. He's cheated on her twice. Okay.
Oh.
He's a lawyer, not too far from here. And so he has access to everything he needs. She would then have to pay for a lawyer. She has no money to do that. But he's cheated on her twice. One was before I met her. She got over it because she was pregnant with her second. And then he had cheated on her 4 years ago. And she and I were talking and she's like, I've tried to get over it. And every single time I feel like I see the signs again, he calls me crazy. I'm not doing that anymore. Kind of like what he did before. A little bit of gaslighting. And then the other reason is that her mom is in an assisted living home and he is paying for that.
Oh,
so
boy.
Taking care of extended family,
Really under the rock.
that is a tough spot for her to be in. She's like, my mom's getting the best care. What do I do? And I feel like he's got that bone in him where he would make her hurt. And that makes me really sad.
The question is, why aren't you getting the divorce? So hers is financial and financial and financial.
I think she has to start planning now. I think she has to get the ball rolling, get a full-time job. There is no reason for her to not have a full-time job
She
and a
just has
side gig.
become accustomed to not needing it.
She has. And he has allowed her to. I think it's a little bit of the, you need me carrot.
Yeah,
and
dangerous.
you better forget about my dalliances. So I don't know. I just think that a lot of people stay in relationships for those reasons.
Hey, speaking of that, Liz, I appreciate your courage here coming on, and I know that you're thinking about the divorce, but why haven't you done it yet?
Well, we're actually going on year 4 this year. Yeah,
Well, okay.
Year 4 already.
Now, when I was reading some of the reasons why people stay married, what are some of the reasons why? And let's see if they tick off on this list. Why you guys are not divorced yet.
Legal fees are way on top of the roof.
Okay.
There is, the fact that we've gotten accustomed to living, this certain type of life that obviously is not going to be sustainable after we part our own ways, living expenses and we have certain things that that we both kind of just, have and want to keep for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
After.
But 4 years, are you guys still in the same house?
That's what she said. Like cost of housing, it's almost impossible to live apart. Like it's so expensive.
Exactly.
How could you even do that?
So, and we're trying, to keep it peaceful, to not make it as harsh for our kiddos. But it's definitely tough.
Do you fear the slide back? Like living with him still 4 years after you've decided to get divorced? Is there ever oh my gosh, maybe I could go back with him?
No, honestly, no. I think we're both pretty set on the divorce. It's just, I guess, just time we just haven't. And yeah, costs of legal fees, all of that is just, it's been quite some.
So I appreciate you checking into the show. We got a text here, and she says, I'm guessing it's she. I want to stay anonymous. Tell Annie, your friend Kat, get therapy and legal aid. She moves out. He pays child support and alimony. He is controlling her.
So their last child is out in a year and a half.
Okay.
So
But still, I mean, imagine waking up every day going, I got to suffer 18 more months of this, like she said, being controlled.
yeah, can she get out? She gets alimony until she takes a husband.
Is that
how
the way
that
it
goes.
works, really,
Yeah.
for the rest of your life?
And I think, can you accept alimony while you have a boyfriend? That would sting. That would really sting. If I had to pay my ex alimony while they were with somebody else, and then I know they're using that money for whatever.
If you're getting alimony, what better reason to not get married?
Yeah.
You've moved on with your
Exactly.
life. You left him behind, and they're cutting you a check every single month.
Why would you ever?
Woo!
Why would you ever?
That sounds amazing.
You are a money grubber. You're just like Derek. Derek's like, I'm going to take you for all you're worth.
Oh, my wife makes 100 times more than I do. So, yeah.
You're going to get that money.
I'd cripple her.
I want to know.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just
You wanna know?
answer the question. I want to know. Like, are there reasons? What are they for you to stay together?
I think so many of these are going to be financial.
So I wanted to talk about this woman who's using this word, I think, the wrong way, because I don't know if you can accidentally move in right across the street from your ex, but it happened to her.
Well, I just found out that my ex lives in the area, which is crazy. And what's crazier is that he actually lives right across the street. Like, I'm looking at his house right now. Neighbors. Some things are just meant to be.
Okay, so let's say that's your ex and you cut off communication. It's a bad breakup, and you each go your separate ways. You probably don't know where he's moving into. You know what I mean?
What are the odds? What are the odds is
Well,
my question.
My high school, like when I was a sophomore in high school, had a girlfriend, and her parents built a house 2 doors down from my mom and dad.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom and dad had an established place for a few years, and her parents built right next to us. And so that was my junior year. I was 2 doors down from my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
But, I mean, you're at that point where you're driving, so you really never see him anymore. And when we lived in our old neighborhood, my daughter Reagan had a friend whose parents had split up. She kept the house. He bought a house 2 doors down so that when they never had to really do an exchange, or if it was his time or her time, she just kind of had all her stuff at their place and she would just walk 2 houses away.
See, I think making it as convenient as possible for the kids is the best route to go. We have people in our development, which I found out this summer, this is how they're doing it. I don't know what happened in their relationship, but she lives in this part of the development. He built a house about a block away, and then he will ride his lawnmower, go do her lawn.
Okay.
And then, which I think is very nice. He still
noble.
shows that he cares and wants to make life easier for her. But the kids can just take their 4-wheelers or their golf cart and just go to dad's for the night. And it's only a block away. And when I found out that that was what they were doing, how nice he's being.
Good on this guy, because
kind
I'll
of
tell
makes
you
me
what.
feel like he was in the
I
wrong
split up
there.
with my wife. She's mowing her own damn lawn. Like, for sure, that's not a thing.
But what if it's your fault? Like, what if you are the one to blame for the split? Aren't you going to do anything and everything to...
If you're not getting back together, if the ink is dry on the divorce papers,
Yeah.
I'm not mowing your lawn. Get the hell out of here.
I think it's very nice that he does that.
You're
And
high.
however they ended their relationship, that's their business. But when I found out that that's the agreement to make sure the kids could stay in the same school district, have dad or mom right down the street in case at night they're like, you know what, I really miss my mom. They go on down there.
Yeah,
I
go say
really
hi.
miss my dad. I'm going to go down there. So I just thought that was kind of a noble way of doing it.
I bet you this happens more than you would think in smaller towns, because the pool just isn't as big of people you're dating or you're going to marry, and are you going to move out of town? You know, a lot of people, you don't want to move away from the kids. You have the same friend group. You don't want to move away from them. You're in the big city. I get you probably never see them again, and then it's a freak coincidence when you end up in the same apartment building in
Yes.
the end. But I would bet that this happens more often than not. Are you real quick? Are you living close to an ex? And like,
How close?
Does this trouble your life? Like, you see them when you're walking the dog, or you see them at the same park, or they're always at the same bar, or something like that.
I think it's more interesting when you don't have kids and then it still happens.
We're going to start our live show Tuesday morning by trying to give you $200 cash. It's simple. You need 5 words to get $200. That'll start right about 6:05 Tuesday morning during our live show. Right now, let's finish up our favorites from Monday. Here's the rest of the podcast.
We've got email.
All right, and Gerard with a G starts it this way. He says, single, middle-aged guy here, like to use free dating websites like POF, that's Plenty of Fish, right? and even Craigslist somewhat successfully pre-COVID times. Now, dating apps cost money. They seem to be a waste of time. Well, it's considering meetup.com for some low-key stuff, but it's like $15 monthly. Therefore, I've bailed on the apps, just trying to get out there at the gym, walks, in the park, whatever the deal, occasional live music, sporting events, stuff like that. Just wondering how other singles are meeting people nowadays other than something via the internet or an app. What would you suggest?
Don't most people say meet them at church?
That's what my dad always said. He goes,
Yeah.
You're going to meet your wife at church. And I didn't.
No. I said earlier, like our sports friend group or whatever, like, I know a person for you. They'd be perfect. Like, I'd want to rely on a friend who knows me really well and knows that other person. And they'll have a lot at stake there, at stake, where
Because they care.
because they care and they don't want something to fail or to set you up with a stinker. So I'd probably rely on referrals, to be honest.
I would be looking for bar floozies.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, so quality, not quantity.
Quantity over quality is what I would be looking
I was
for at
being
this point. I'm honest. I don't know if I'd go back out there.
Yeah.
I've been married like 26 years. And
That's why
I
it's
don't,
hard for me to answer your question, because I know for a fact I would do me. That's it. You
And I
know?
wouldn't have a problem doing me, but I don't know. I suppose a lot of people say that, right? If you've been married a long time and you lose a loved one or it just doesn't work out in the end, you probably say that in the beginning,
Yeah.
but then you get lonely, right? You want someone else to spend your time with and share your experiences with. So I could probably say that for the beginning, but then,
I don't think I could ever live with someone again. You know,
Oh.
like you develop your own way of living with your husband.
when it comes to
or your
sharing rent,
wife.
you could.
Maybe, but I mean, by that point in life, you're pretty financially secure. You should be.
If you go from two people paying your mortgage to one, that's a struggle.
I would love to live by myself, have that, and then like, hey, you want to go out for a fantastic dinner tonight? Or hey, we should go on a weekend vacation, and then go your separate ways when you get back.
If you're single, help us out here real quick. I want to be able to pass along some answers to him. Outside of the websites that you might go to or an app, how are you actually meeting people? Like, have you found anything? And I'm not saying you found the person for the rest of your life, but you're finding decent success. You're meeting some cool people. Maybe it's not a perfect match, but you seem to be getting at least some action. Where or how? I'm just asking for 30 seconds of your time. If you can call right now, that'd be super cool. So the email we got from Gerard with a G, basically it said, hey, single middle-aged guy here. I used to try the free dating websites, and now they all cost money, and I really don't want to pay to try and meet people. He said, just wondering where other singles are meeting people right now, and if there are any other methods that have worked for you. So some interesting responses. Layla had said, a fun way to meet people is community theater. You don't need performance skills. Listen, I know we get in front of thousands of people every day and talk, but I would be terrified
Same.
to be on stage. And we get to freestyle basically everything we do, right? But if you got a script you got to be working off of and memorize that, and I've got a really photographic memory, but I would be terrified to go out there and do any kind of theater.
I think it's a good idea, though. You're going to find another like-minded person that's into what you're into. And you don't always have to be into your partner's hobbies or choices of, different things that they like to do, but that's a good start.
Anna had said, one thing I recommend is to volunteer in your city or town, whatever events they put on annually, from street festivals to parades. Volunteers are always needed, and the purpose is not to get a date, but you'll end up syncing up with someone else, and you're out there being social. And then how about this one from Bree? She said, I have a couple of single girlfriends, who participate in mixed sports, which they follow up with a pub visit afterwards for drinks and appetizers and socializing. Basically, you're doing something you enjoy with the bonus of networking. One friend ended up dating the brother of her pickleball teammate.
Oh, nice. Maybe even like a co-ed softball rec league this summer. That might be fun to look into. When I did that, when I started working here, it was a co-ed league. And there were a lot of people that had met that way. And then we'd get beer and pizza after. It was so light and fun. Tessa texted, I met my guy at a church bazaar. There is something to that. We were volunteers, started talking, and been together for 10 years.
So think about one of the things that actually ends up maybe getting in the way of relationships is your religious beliefs, or, you're Catholic, you're Lutheran, you're Protestant, whatever the deal is. And if you already are going to your church event,
That's
you already
one hump you got
already
over.
know that you're synced up. But out of all of these responses we got, the one voice of reason that could possibly get through and help this guy,
Don't do it.
it's Richard. Richard, where would you go to meet a single lady if that was, your vibe?
I'd probably try to go see something like Slipknot or something unjob related to get some entertainment.
So you'd want to date a Slipknot chick.
I think these punk chicks and these Monster Energy chicks are pretty cute.
There it is. I like that. Look at you. If you had to pick the kind of person you would want to spend the rest of your life with, what concert would they be at?
They would be at the BSB NKOTB Fusion Tour. We would go see old school boy bands, and we'd jam out.
If my wife just vanished from the planet, like was picked up by aliens, and I had to go to a concert to meet my next
lady
friend, it would be, I think I would do like a Billy Joel show.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe like Elton John, or is Neil Diamond still alive?
I think so.
Like that.
Like a yacht rock?
Yeah,
type
somebody
of thing?
who would be into some yacht rock.
You do not want a 5-fingered death punch girl. I have met them in the bathroom. They are not kind. They are wild. And they will tell you what they think.
Some guys are looking for that wild chick.
For a minute. It's hot for a minute. And then you want to live with that all the time.
No. I'm saying you date the hell out of her. I don't know if you marry her. Can you just please tell me something good?
We're going to start with this doctor. Her name is Amy Bethy, and she's a pediatric anesthesiologist at a children's hospital in Nebraska. And she saw this 4-year-old boy come in for heart surgery.
This 4-year-old was going to be undergoing heart surgery and no one was there.
We went up and met Drew in the hospital, and it didn't take long to fall in love with him and know that we needed him in our family. You can't imagine your life without him.
They've been nice. They are Gary.
He's truly become my son.
Aww.
Keep going. Don't stop.
That is so sweet. So they ended up adopting him, and he had 5 blood brothers and sisters in the foster care system as well. And so this doctor found homes for all 5 in that area as well.
Wow, so he's close to his brothers and sisters.
Close to his brothers and sisters. I think they're going to go to school together. What a great ending to that.
Wow, I love that. Tell me something good. What about you, Kat? What's good in your life?
I am going on week 2 of working out. I worked out every single day last week. I'm going to do it again this week. I am going to finish up my show Unlocked, which really encourages me to stay out of the prison system. It's not something that was on my mind, but you just never know when you're going to get into a bit of trouble. But I mean, what they have to go through and what they do on a day-to-day basis.
What's this on?
I watch it on Netflix.
Okay.
And it is just like, man, if you've ever gone to prison, it's really like that.
This follows you in prison or when you're getting out of prison?
They have a new oh my God, what is it? Like a new sheriff in town, basically. And he comes in and he says, I'm going to unlock all the doors.
Oh, you were telling me about this. Yeah.
And you have free reign, but you guys have to kind of police each other. Like, you guys want this program to continue. Everyone has to be on their best behavior. No more knuckle boxing in the shower. No more stealing each other's food and then making others eat it off the floor.
Did they work together? Did they do a good job at this?
So it was a little iffy in the first 24 hours. You know, people lost their minds. They're like, the doors are open. We're going to go crazy. And now things look like they're rolling.
And give them all a cookie.
Exactly. And that is what's good.
Tell me something good. For me, after 20 years of chasing kids to hockey rinks, it's over.
Are you going to cry? I feel like it's like really emotional for you.
I was sad, but then this is the difference where my wife was really emotional, after our final game in the state tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know why I'm not super emotional? Because we were there for it all. Like, we rearranged our lives to get these kids there, never miss a practice, never miss a game, and just like be there for all of it. And now I look back and I'm like, I have zero regrets on this whole journey because we were there for it all.
You were.
And that really, really makes me not over emotional that it's sad, but I'm just like, that was a great chapter in their lives. And like, it's with most sports that your kid starts when they're 3 or 4 or whatever. And you see the families grow and you see the kids grow and you see their friendships grow and you see them developing into good people that learn how to, be good friends and teammates and have like just a good competitive spirit.
Sure.
Like all that, it's weird emotion for me. Like it's more proud that they did it and they got something out of it than just some of these knuckleheads that throw their kids in because they have lost regrets of never making it to state or never being a national champion or whatever. So I think I did the math this morning, and after $647,000 spent on that sport,
gross,
we're done. So that for me is what's good.
Tell me something good.
Hey, Greg, you want to tell me what's good in your life, bro?
Yeah, I found a local community that meets up on Wednesdays to talk about movies, which is, kind of low stakes, but it's a good place to meet new people and find people with similar interests. And I've made a lot of new friends.
That's a lot of fun.
That, so.
I like that.
Do you guys talk about current movies or like just your all-time favorites?
Well, we actually talk about like little projects that we've been working on, and then it leads into like what's going on in cinema nowadays, and then what everybody's favorites are, of course.
That's really cool. And you know what? When it comes to dating, I would need someone that likes to see movies. Like I have a couple friends that are a couple, but they never go see movies. The last movie they saw was like 25 years ago. I'm like, I love seeing movies.
Is this group that you're meeting with, like everyone immediately goes, my favorite movie is Citizen Kane? Like, are they that kind of people?
Dive into the plot?
No, absolutely not. Some of them, it's like Terminator, you know what I mean?
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good range. It's a good mix. That's what anybody can come. So you get the film bros, but then you also get just the film enjoyers, the cinema enjoyers,
Love it.
Well, it did cause some drama. If you saw any of the comments of the people that didn't choose the number 3 on this multiple choice list. So I'm going to go through this. I posted this on Facebook. You wouldn't have?
No.
Chosen 3?
Nope.
You're going to have to explain yourself in a second. So it says, moms, you only get 2. You can only choose 2 of these. What's it going to be? So number 1 was 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Number 2, groceries whenever you want to your front door. Number 3, your kids never get sick. So the people that didn't choose 3 and other people crept on their social medias and found out they did have kids, they were like, how could you not choose number 3?
Well, there's a scientific, there's first off a selfish reason and then a scientific reason. Selfish is I've really only got 1 kid left around, and he's only around for another 5 months. So that's not as big of a deal. And the other one is, remember, if you don't get sick, you don't build up immunities, and you're going to get sicker down the line more severely.
So you put more thought into it than you should have.
I went a little bit of a Robert F. Kennedy Jr. route on that one.
Number 4 was a personal chef handling every meal. 5 was the house cleaned for free once a week. And then number 6, toys magically put themselves away.
And I don't have little kids anymore, so I didn't go with that one. I would have went with 1 and probably 1 and 4.
1 and 4. So a personal chef handling every meal and then 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep.
It'd just be nice to be like, hey, I'm going to want to eat in about 45 minutes. Here's what I want. You have somebody whip it up for you. I like that. And then the 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep. I think I was probably in my teens the last time that happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Just to sleep like that. Liam's been doing that before, like our whole 10 years and under, he would wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m. Hey, guys, let's get the day going.
When they hit that growth spurt, they need it, and their body just craves it, and they can, like my 18-year-old, he could sleep for 14 hours straight, no problem.
It started a couple of years ago. Like, I'll walk in at 9:30, 10 a.m., and I'll put my finger under his nose, and I'm like, is he still okay? He's fine. He's a teenager. So I chose number 3 and number 4. So my kid did never get sick, which he very rarely gets sick, but I hate when he's sick because I just feel so bad for him. And then number 4, a personal chef. I want someone to just have thought put into it. It's good for my body. I don't have to do it.
Well, and a personal chef is good, right? They're gonna shop healthier than you do.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna throw some nugs in the air fryer.
I know.
Right? Like they're gonna actually whip you up something and cook it.
And I'm telling you, like hiring a cleaning lady, we have a cleaning lady and she and her husband come and tag team our house. And there's no better, I used that term correctly, okay? There's no better feeling than to walk in after you are at work all day to those lines, though, in my carpet. Are you kidding me? So,
or no little pee rings around the toilet or anything like that.
Yes, the crap you don't want to do to have somebody come and do it and they get paid to do it, so they're fine with it. But the people I have do a phenomenal job for like a really good deal. And I'm like, it is worth the money. It's worth the money.
One moment will happen in your life where you downsize by about a third. And then all of a sudden you realize cleaning your house isn't a ridiculous chore anymore.
Right.
It's like 35, 40 minutes on a Sunday, you can get
That's
it pretty
what I'm
much
trying
all
to
done.
tell my husband.
I'm telling I was this is almost 2 years ago. I was very afraid of the downsizing.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to, we had so much room before. And then now I'm like, you need very little room.
It sounds fantastic.
Very little room, and there's very little to clean. But I'd be kind of curious if anybody was going with the toys magically put away, or, I mean, the kids never getting sick. I get where you're coming from. It sucks when your kids get sick most of the time because you get sick and the rest of their siblings get sick. But like I said, I was just, I kind of went the scientific route, and I'm like, well, if you don't get sick, one day you're going to get something, and it's going to knock you on your ass for a long time versus, I got a little cough, I got a little sniffle, nothing Dayquil can't take care of.
This post was not meant to make you guys turn against each other. We had hundreds of responses on it, and it's like, listen, if somebody didn't choose number 3, that's okay. There's probably a reason why they didn't. But I would love to hear which numbers you'd choose and why, because everybody has different priorities.
Amy, out of that list that we just gave you a couple of minutes ago, what are you going with?
Personal chef, and then having somebody clean your place would be awesome. Those are the 2 I would choose.
So you'd choose number 4 and 5 just to make your life easier.
The personal chef thing, I think, is just a luxury most of us can't afford. But I'm telling you, if you could ever afford it, I think that would be it would be so awesome just to have somebody even pre-make a bunch of meals, even if they came in twice a week and did just
I'd want them in-house, and I'd want them to ring a bell. I'd want them to ring the bell so I know food
have an
time.
amazing name like Jeeves.
Yes.
Coming up next with Kat and JJ.
I would be interested right now if anyone is listening that's had somebody in that capacity in their life where they had a personal chef. Maybe it's something that you and your family have squirreled away money for, and maybe they come in twice a week. Or maybe, what was I got you that for Christmas one year. What was that?
HelloFresh.
And that was a pretty good deal, right?
Well, yeah, it's the food, but I have to make it still. But I mean, it's like
what's the company that makes I think they send you a small convection oven even, and then they send you the meals, and basically you throw them in there for however long it is, and it's like a gourmet meal.
Yeah.
I would be interested if anybody's had that, and is that worth the money, especially if you've got a bigger family and you're always kind of scrambling at dinner time, you know, your kids running everywhere. You just take a couple of these pouches and you throw them in the convection oven. That to me sounds like an amazing life.
I think if I'm going to spend money on a chef, I need it plated. You know, I want to
put it on a plate before you put it in there.
The little red swirl of whatever it is, you know,
You just can't be happy with just somebody having food for you.
If I'm going to pay for somebody, you got to go all out. But one day we'll make enough money.
What do you think it costs to have a personal chef even come in twice a week and just pre-make your meals for your family? If it's just dinners even.
Yeah, but you know what? I think as far as like, you know, how we have side hustles, gigs and stuff, I think that chefs have side hustles. Private chef typically costs between $100 per person. So, that's just like a dining experience. I don't know. If somebody came in and food prep, though, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they make a couple of meals, and then they Tupperware them for you.
A bunch of grab and goes.
Yeah, like and you got your proteins, you got your carbs, you got your fat, you know, stuff like that.
$300 to $500 per meal prep weekly session, which would be on a Sunday, it says, and then you have to pay for all the groceries.
Okay, so you buy all the food, somebody comes in, they help you prep it all up. I'm assuming, so $500 a week?
You don't help me do anything. You do it. I'm not doing anything. If I'm paying you $500 to come in on a Sunday, you be doing it all.
$25,000 a year just to have somebody make your dinners for you or your lunches at work. Would that be worth it?
If I had an extra $25,000, absolutely.
You'd find something else to waste it on. You wouldn't do it on food.
I think this would be worth it for sure. Those moments at the end of the day when someone says, "What is for dinner?" is the worst question ever to hear when you just want to go to bed.